Today on Paranormal Insight, we're going to take a look at good ghosts versus bad ghosts.
And we have a question from Kimberly. She wants to know if the world is going to end in 2012.
And we're going to take a look at healthy water.
I'm Joseph Ernest Martin, and I'm here with my co-host, Linda Potter. Linda is a hypnotist with a specialty in guided meditation and past life regression. She's also the author of a wonderful book, The Miracle of Self-Healing.
An award-winning psychic for over 20 years, Joseph Ernest Martin is the author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row, and he's the recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
We're going to be taking a look at good ghosts versus bad ghosts and how you can tell that difference, because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell the difference.
Well, and I think that when you say bad ghosts, everybody kind of looks at ghosts as being bad, right? Most people don't think too much about good ghosts. If you say you have a ghost, they kind of get the willies about that.
Well, and you know, being a psychic for so many years, I've actually seen good ones and bad ones. So it's really good to know the difference.
It is good to know the difference. But the thing is, we have to remember who they are and where they come from.
Have you ever been filled with utter joy or the feeling of complete dread for no apparent reason? Have you thought you saw something that you were not able to explain? We are exploring the domain of ghosts. First, let's define what ghosts are. They're generally a spirit of a deceased person that manifests itself to the living in a nebulous or ethereal manner. Spirits can be both positive and negative, just as they were when they were living. A good ghost will fill you with affirming feelings that will help you to heal and prosper. A bad ghost is just the opposite. A bad ghost will fill you with dread and a feeling that there is danger or something very wrong around you. A bad ghost can attach itself to you and drain your energy, sometimes to the point that you may become sick or unable to function in your everyday life. You may ask yourself, how can I tell if I have a ghost attached to me or my home? You might be in a room by yourself when you feel an overwhelming feeling of apprehension. There is no physical or emotional reason for it. This may be a ghost letting you know that there is something that you need to pay particular attention to. They may be warning you of danger. This can be an example of a protective ghost. But what if you are feeling fabulous and things are flowing along until all of a sudden everything falls apart? Every move becomes an effort. Ideas stop flowing and you cannot see simple solutions to your problems. This can be an example of a negative ghost trying to attach itself to you. So what can be done to protect yourself from negative ghosts? One thing to remember is that you are the one that is in the body. This is the most powerful position there is. No entity can enter or attach or channel any energy or information away from you without your permission. Permission does not have to be given in a conscious manner. Dark spirits are quite devious in their methods of attachment and attention. For example, you may be sick with the flu and your guard is down. Dark spirits may move rapidly to attach to you in this circumstance. To protect yourself, set a boundary that no negative or dark spirits have permission under any circumstance to enter or attach themselves to you. Again, you are the one in the body, and they have no recourse but to accept the boundaries that you have established. Ghosts are here for a number of reasons. Some have unfinished lessons, some want to help, and some are watching you to be helpful in your life. Then there are those ghosts whose purpose is to challenge us in ways we cannot imagine. Ghosts can be here for us to learn to set boundaries, for teaching us to discern for ourselves the differences between the light and dark forces. Being aware that there are spirits around you at times can be beneficial in many ways. Learning to set boundaries, knowing our loved ones are near, and being responsible for our own energies. These are things to be open to, and to help you in creating the benefits that ghosts can bring to enrich your life.
Have you ever given any thought to the idea that you may have been a ghost at some point in your soul's journey? It was during a past life regression that a client taught me how and why we become ghosts. It was a scene right out of a movie. A farmhouse set on a knoll among the rolling hills of the early 1900s in America. Hannah lived there with her husband and 2 children and spoke of her life as a housewife of a farmer in glowing terms. It was a busy and demanding life, but very rewarding to her. One afternoon, Hannah was visiting her neighbor when she realized how late it had become. With the sun beginning to set, she decided to take a shortcut, walking through the vast fields that separated the 2 farmhouses. Hannah could see the lights of her house up on the knoll, and it made her even more anxious to get home. It was when she heard the growling noises in the tall grass surrounding her that she began to run. And the last memory that Hannah had was the face of a wolf coming right at her. Hannah sustained mortal injuries from this wolf attack and died right there in the field. I had expected my client to transition into the light of the other side, but to my amazement, she began to tell me that she was floating through the field up toward the farmhouse. She said her family was expecting her. And as she stood in her kitchen in this ghostly form, Hannah experienced great frustration that no one acknowledged her. She couldn't understand why she seemed invisible to them. It was at that point she picked up a pot from the kitchen counter and threw it across the room. And still no one saw her. I asked her why she didn't transition into the light after she died, and she said it was because she couldn't leave her children. As their mother, she had to raise them, and it wasn't until her children married and left home that Hannah felt her job was complete. And at that point, Hannah's own mother, who had long since passed over, appeared to her, and Hannah's desire to be with her mother is what brought her into the light of the other side, out of her ghostly existence. Becoming a ghost is simply a chosen soul experience. Many of us have been ghosts before. The triggers to become a ghost are a trauma death and unfinished business. It's a case of not letting go of our earthly experience, but eventually we all go home to the other side. Good ghosts versus bad ghosts? Ghosts are people just like us. Some people in life are wonderful, approachable, and friendly, while others are mean-spirited with negative intentions. Ghosts are not to be feared, but understood. The knowledge we gain through our ghostly experiences brings awareness, helping us to become more well-rounded, spiritual individuals.
You know, ghosts really are present just virtually anywhere, don't you think?
Yeah, they most definitely are. When I first came into awareness about the world of ghosts, it started subtly. It was the energy I was picking up. I sometimes would walk into a space of oftentimes an old hotel, and I would feel something in the room, and I really wasn't sure what it was. So I think a lot of people do that, but they're not really sure, is it a ghost or not?
Well, you know, even in the house I moved into in Oakland, it was really kind of funny because I'm sitting there right on the couch and I look over to the front door and in comes through the wall this amorphous spirit that kind of glides in and kind of stands there and just looks over at me sitting on the couch. And I thought, what the heck? But I got this very beautiful, protective, glowing feeling from this spirit. And so when I asked my guides who just came to visit me, they said, it's your neighbor's husband. So the next morning I went over to Betty, my neighbor, and I said, Betty, guess what? Your husband came to visit us last night. And she said, you're kidding me. And I said, no. He wanted to find out if we were going to be good neighbors for you. And I feel like he approved. And she said, that is exactly like my husband. So I really do believe that the ghosts that come to see us can actually have a positive, protective, and lingering effect in our own lives.
Absolutely. I had an experience by going into a hotel that was over 100 years old in New York. And unbeknownst to me, there was all kinds of activity going on in this place. I shouldn't say unbeknownst to me because as I walked up to this grandiose front of this hotel, there were benches, these very old benches, and they're beautiful. It was all repainted and it looked kind of new in its old-fashioned sort of way. But I could feel that there were people sitting on those benches. I sensed a boy and I sensed a lady and I even sensed a dog. And I really don't know where that came from, but that was my first real introduction to the world of ghosts. And once I got inside of this dwelling and I started to meet the people that work there, whoa, the ghost stories were wild.
Well, you know, they can be very wild too.
If you sense the presence of a ghost in your house and you're not really sure what to do about it, I would tell you that feel the energy of this ghost, and if you would like to banish this ghost from your house, whether it's negative energy or positive energy, because you don't like this intrusive feeling, I would go and purchase what you would call a smudge stick. And it's usually sage wrapped in twine, and that holds it tight so that the smoke that it gives out is very potent. Now, the smoke from a sage stick is known to dispel negativity. And there's a ritual of actually walking into your house and going into each room, hitting every corner, completing the whole run of the house, and there is a prayer that you can accompany with that. It doesn't have to be any specific way, but any powwow, any metaphysical store, and I know you can go online and get this information so that you can put together a package for yourself to dispel the negative ghost energy in your house.
There's not only the good ghosts, which I actually enjoy them very much when they come to visit, but I have had experiences with ghosts that were not so friendly. And one time I was at a bus stop with a friend of mine, and he was invoking the name of a ghost that, well, was kind of evil. And so as he was evoking this name, I was like, don't do that, but he did it anyway, and the street lights started going out as they came closer to us. I did a protection bubble around me, and I felt the energy of this negative entity bounce off me and actually hit my friend. Well, my friend was sick for about 2 weeks after that event. And I told my friend, you know, this is what I experienced when it happened. And of course, my friend said, next time, do you think you could extend the bubble around me too?
Yes, I think when it comes to good ghosts versus bad ghosts, the one thing that helps us so much, and it's with anything, is to gain knowledge about it, to understand what they're capable of and what they're here for, and always to remember they're people just like us. The advantage they have at times is that they're unseen, and so they get away with monkey business. But never to fear them is very important as well. Don't you agree?
Yes, you don't want to be afraid because they really feed off your fear. You know, the good ghosts are fun, so how do you set that boundary so that the bad ones can't actually get to you? Well, one way to set that boundary is you imagine yourself, well, you use your imagination. You imagine yourself standing there and you push out your energy to about 18 inches around your body. And you imagine your energy filled as white light. And then you add a golden rim to that. And as you add that rim, you imagine peace and harmony inside the bubble and perfect protection around that edge. And you might say to yourself, well, okay, is that just like a mind game? I'm just like pretending? But here's the thing. In the ethereal world, thoughts are things. So when you use your imagination and your intent in this world, it manifests in the ethereal and you become divinely protected.
It's great to have these kind of tools, and when we start to learn more about this kind of thing, then when you walk into a dwelling, you're going to be able to start discerning what's what.
Besides imagination, I'm going to give you what I consider the best boundary you can set. This is the one I've used for many, many years. Now, of course, I was raised Catholic, so you'll have to forgive kind of the maybe religious overtone of this boundary. But I will tell you that it's really worked for me. And you can do the same boundary with you substituting the word Buddha or anything you like. This is the boundary I suggest using. I say, I only allow those guides of Christ consciousness or higher to talk to me. And this sets the right kind of boundary for the kind of spirits I want to talk to me. Now, whether you say Christ, Buddha, whatever, it'll still work as long as your intent is solid and good. I only allow those guides of Christ consciousness or higher to talk to me. Try it. I think it's going to work for you.
You're going to start to be able to tell if you've got a positive energy or a negative energy. And like Joseph said, what you're able to do with that as far as your protection goes. It's very important. And they're just tools, like you use tools to fix a kitchen sink. No
Exactly. And you can use tools like holy water and salt. Those are very good. Sage to make the room purified, ancient American Indian kind of ritual. Try these things. Read more about it. Come to our website. You're going to see a lot more information about ghosts and how to deal with the good ones and the bad ones. I'm with Peter Goodgold and Water Works for You. They have these amazing products for wellness, weight loss, and well-being. And Peter, you know, I just was walking by your booth and I was just so impressed with everything here. What can you tell us about this amazing?
Well, to be honest with you, we came up with a solution to the water pollution. Today, people go out and they buy bottled water, but that's as silly as going out and buying air to breathe. Water in a bottle is dead water in a petroleum bottle. So we created alkaline water sticks. Use the stick so you never get sick. What we say is, don't hesitate when you can rejuvenate. So by the use of water ionization, we change the molecular structure of water and make it hexagonal, like a living crystal. Like, remember Dr. Emoto in What the Bleep? He takes pictures of water. Well, our water is living. Water in a bottle is not. So the main thing we try to do is bring people's pH up to 7.365. And by doing that, we drink water above 9 or 10. And by doing that, we bring the body into homeostasis. We lose weight, we feel good, and we don't get sick. I haven't had a cold or a flu in 11 years. I used to weigh 185 pounds, dropped 40 pounds of body weight just by drinking this water. That's what's so amazing about alkaline water. Now, it's nothing new. The ancient Hunzers used to drink alkaline water. Go ahead, what were you going to ask me?
So, you know, I was just thinking of the people who are watching this, and they're saying, okay, there's this machine or there's these sticks that can really help with my water so my pH comes up, I can lose weight, my body's going to get more into balance. But, you know, how hard is this to use? You know, I'm a busy person, I got a job.
Here is an alkaline titanium stick. You take the stick, you put it in a bottle of water, you shake it up, and then you drink it. The water flows through the holes of the filter. It filters out all the contaminants, the chlorine, the cryptosporidium, the gerardia, and raises the pH to 9.5. One stick will make 1,000 bottles of alkaline water. Okay, when you buy water, you spend $2, $3 a bottle. Do the math. That's $3,600 a year. This is $49.99. Makes 1,000 bottles of healthy water that is fresh, like first squeeze orange juice. You drink it the day you make it. Water, same thing. You drink it the day you make it, not 6 months later out of a plastic bottle that's been sitting on a shelf.
So this is a really affordable way to get into it, but I notice you have like this Cadillac Rolls-Royce machine over here.
The water ionizer. Let's take a shot of the water ionizer. This is the Ionic Oasis. It's the most powerful water ionizer in the United States. It has 7 platinum titanium plates. It's got a built-in pH meter. When you press the button, you can change the pH, just like changing channels on a television. It measures the pH, shows you the color of the pH, and it measures the antioxidants. You hook this up to your faucet, and you make water free for the next 25 years. After that, you just replace the platinum titanium electrodes. Water Works for You comes up with innovative products to help people with the water pollution. So when we say it's the ionic solution to water pollution, we say don't hesitate when you can rejuvenate. Why not drink the best water there is?
Well, you know, I really do want to drink the best water, and I've actually done some research on this, and this is a fascinating system. Now, people are watching this, are going to be seeing it all over the world. Where can they find you?
Why not go to our website, waterworks4u.com. That's waterworks, the number 4, the letter u.com, and take a look. Watch the videos, see the products, get involved, and help other people to stop buying water. Water in a bottle represents $8 billion a month. And we're messing up the ecosystem with all this plastic. And think of the carbon footprint as well.
And the footprint as well.
Go green, get good water, make it fresh every day. And thank you so much for this interview.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
I want you to watch the show, watch the end. You're going to see end information, links here. Come to the website. You're going to get links to this product. It really is amazing. Beautiful, well-made product. And there's nothing like drinking living water. You feel so good.
All right. right, so we are going to get started with a very exciting event. It's really amazing to have all of these lovely ladies and our token gentleman here. There's always got to be one guy in the bunch. And that's actually been part of when we talk about psychic trends, where we're headed with psychic development, parapsychology, psychic practice, and really anything having to do with psychic and intuition. You know, that's something also that we can talk about, how many men we have coming into this and why we tend to see particular people in this type of setting as opposed to, say, when you go to professional conferences like the International Remote Viewers Association, IRVA. I highly recommend. They're a group of remote viewers, a lot of them from the people who are part of the military and now have joined the civilian population and are now teaching. You see a whole different crowd there. And the two don't really seem to be merging, even though each group has really important information for the other. So I'm going to get into that when I do my little talk here. But besides for that, we have 8 of us all together, and how we're going to conduct the panel is after each one of us will have 5 minutes to talk. After each speaker gives their talk, I might ask them a question or two as the moderator, and then we'll move on to the next person.
And now we have a question from Kimberly. Let's take a look.
My name is Kimberly, and I'm from San Francisco, and I would like to ask Joseph and Linda a question. Do you think the world's really going to end this year?
Kimberly, you know, that is a really great question. I've already mixed up the cards and asked my guides to help provide an answer for you. And we're going to look at, is the world going to end in 2012? I'm going to tell you, though, in the many, many cities I've been in, reading for this question for many, many people, I've got to tell you the world's not going to end. That's just basically the short answer. But I will tell you exactly what this is going to have for you specifically. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is that you're kind of holding yourself back. And so this year is not a hold-back year for you, but you're holding yourself back in a way that's not being beneficial to you. You're saying that their small problems are bigger than they actually are, and so you need to relax on that. You know, it's like that book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. I also want to tell you that you have a lot of people around you right now in this year that are going to be very extreme in their actions and extreme in their energies. So really try not to be too involved with them. And if you feel that they're too close of friends in your circle, maybe it's time to relook at that. This is a year of change for you. Now, in the past, you've had a lot of good success. You've been very good. You've been very smart. You know how to make money. All that's good. You've been passionate. The door is open for you. All these are very, very good things. This year, 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015 are great years for you. You're in a 4-year cycle of things really turning out for you. So no, nothing's going to end. You're going to be around for a number of years to come. Now, the universe is going to ask you to really put your passion forward and to really focus on what you want to do and push to make that happen in a really good way. So I hope you consider that. Now, you naturally are a positive person. You have lots of hope for the future. You have lots of positivity about your own future. I want to say, though, that this year, where the end of the world will be concerned is in relationships in your life. And so there are going to be relationships you will be ending. In that sense only will there be an ending for you in this year. But this end of relationship for you is going to benefit you in a really great way because it's going to open the door for this 4-year cycle of new opportunity and good things happening for you. Is the world going to end in 2012? No. But for some of your relationships, there will be endings.
I'm so glad you asked that question because of the mystery surrounding the year 2012 and all of the foretold prophecy. Whether it's the Mayans, the Native American Hopi tribe, or the indigenous tribes of many other cultures, everyone has a little bit of a different prediction, but the one golden thread that ties everyone together and what they agree on is that we're in the midst of vast planetary changes. When you start to wonder about what's happening out there in the world, you need to turn and look to yourself. For most people right now, the issues that are bubbling to the surface are everything from financial to relationships to children to jobs to careers. there doesn't seem to be a stop to the amount of stuff we're dealing with. And if you have an Achilles heel, your challenged emotional spot that you haven't been handling, believe me when I tell you, if it's not bubbling to the surface right now, it's going to be. And we're being forced to face these things. A woman by the name of Patricia Cota Robles put it so eloquently when she said that there is a light within us that is now pushing all this stuff out so we can deal with it and be left completely illuminated. I like that. We're in a time of great technological advancement, and yet we haven't been the best stewards of the land and nature. And there is a swift wind blowing that is moving us into the knowledge that we need to change our ways. We're in a time of a shift. We're learning an awful lot more on a spiritual level than we ever have before. In the words of the great Mayan elder, Don Alejandro, to answer your question, he stated, it's not about the end of times, but it's the beginning of a new age.
Kimberly, I hope that that was helpful for you and that you're ready for this 2012 being a year of new beginnings for you specifically.
Big changes for everybody and a time to clean house. It's definitely a time to clean house.
And you know, we really want to answer your questions and we want to look at your topics. Please give us your questions, let us know what interests you, and we're easy to find. You can find me at my website, which is questtarot.com, which is QUESTTAROT.com, or
you can find me and my website at siteforhealing.com, that's SITEFOR healing.com, or email me at linda@siteforhealing.com. You can watch this program on accesssacramento.org the second and fourth Thursdays of the month at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And don't forget to watch our sister show, Paranormal Connection, with host Donna Wilberg. It airs the first and third Thursday of the month at the same time.
And you can find us on Facebook. Very easy. Search for Joseph Ernest Martin or Linda Potter. And you can go to YouTube and see many video clips by searching for Paranormal Insights. And you can also see us on Vimeo in high definition, full length, especially if you have a smart TV or one of those great internet connections.
We want to hear from you as we bring you our paranormal insights and answers from beyond the ordinary.